ask you something. Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you try to impress a woman, it just doesn't click? You say all the right things, you look sharp, you make an effort, but something's still missing. It's because most men are focused on what they think women want, but they're blind to what women actually respond to on a deeper level. See, women have weaknesses, but not the kind you're thinking of. I'm not talking about being overly emotional or dramatic. I'm talking about psychological pressure points, subtle triggers that activate deep attraction without you needing to try so hard. And here's the truth, most guys never learn this. But once you do, everything changes. You stop chasing, you stop guessing, and you start showing up with a presence that women can't help but feel pulled toward. So in this video, I'm breaking down 7 hidden weaknesses women have that most men completely overlook. And by the end of this video, you'll see women in a way you never have before. Let's get into it. Weakness number 1. Women crave emotional presence. Let's start with one of the most overlooked but powerful truths about women. Women crave emotional presence. Now, most men completely miss this. They think impressing a woman means you need to talk more, tell stories, crack jokes, shower her with compliments, or make grand, flashy gestures. But here's what most guys never realize. A woman will always remember how a man made her feel, not what he said or even what he did. And one of the deepest feelings you can give her is the feeling of being truly seen, of being fully felt. See, when you're with her but your eyes are drifting, you're checking your phone, your energy is scattered, she feels it immediately. That tells her one thing, I'm not fully important to him right now. But when you're locked in, present, still, grounded, she feels something powerful. When you hold eye contact. When you listen not just to respond but to understand. When you respond with your energy, not just your words. You trigger a primal level of connection that most men never even get close to. That presence makes her feel safe, seen, feminine, and undeniably drawn to you. And it's not about saying the perfect line. It's about showing up with a level of attentiveness and awareness that's incredibly rare in today's distracted world. So if you want to stand out instantly in a woman's mind, don't try harder. Just be more present. Because in a world full of noise, presence is power. Weakness number 2. Women respond deeply to certainty. Let me tell you something powerful, and most men never get this. Indecision is one of the biggest silent attraction killers. But certainty? That's absolutely magnetic to a woman. See, a man who moves with confidence, who knows who he is, knows what he wants, and makes decisions without hesitation, hits something deep in a woman's subconscious. Why? Because at her core, a woman is drawn to direction. Not domination, not control, but clarity. It's not about being a dictator, it's about being grounded in your masculine energy. When you embody that unshakable sense of purpose, that inner stability, it naturally allows her to feel more feminine, more relaxed, more safe around you. Certainty creates polarity. And here's the thing, it doesn't always have to be about major life decisions. Sometimes it's as simple as you saying, "We're going here tonight, I think you'll love it." Or, "I've got it handled." That alone can shift the entire dynamic. It shows you trust yourself, and that energy calms her nervous system in ways words never could. Because when a woman feels that you've got a solid internal compass, she doesn't have to overthink. She doesn't have to lead. She gets to lean back into her feminine energy, and that's where real chemistry happens. So remember this. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be decisive, certain, and anchored in who you are. That's what separates men who chase from men who attract effortlessly. Weakness number 3. She's drawn to mystery, not oversharing. Here's a mistake a lot of well-meaning men make. They think sharing everything up front creates connection. They pour their hearts out, overshare their emotions, their past, their insecurities, thinking it'll bring them closer to her. But here's the truth. What creates attraction isn't clarity, it's curiosity. Women are drawn to mystery. Not because they like being confused, but because they're emotionally wired to be intrigued by what they can't fully read or predict. That's why the moment you lay every card on the table, you become too available, too accessible, too explainable. And once she thinks she's figured you out, the tension dies. But when you carry a little mystery in your energy, when you're slightly unpredictable, slightly unreadable, you tap into something powerful inside her. She starts leaning in. She starts asking more questions. She pays closer attention to your body language, your silences, your pauses. Why? Because mystery activates imagination, and imagination is the birthplace of desire. And no, this doesn't mean you should be cold or distant. It just means you don't need to rush to explain every detail about your life. Let her wonder a little. Let her ask questions you don't fully answer yet. Let your actions reveal more than your words. Because here's the paradox. The less you say, the more she feels. When she senses there's more to you, a layer she hasn't unlocked yet, that's when she becomes emotionally invested. Scarcity creates value. Mystery keeps her hooked. And remember, once she thinks she knows everything about you, the game is over. Weakness number 4. She's emotionally triggered by status signals. Let's be brutally honest for a second. Women are biologically wired to pick up on status cues. Not necessarily money. Not flashy cars or name brands. We're talking real status, the kind you can't fake. And here's what most guys completely overlook. You could be broke today. You could be grinding your way up. But if you carry yourself like a man of value, people treat you with respect, and you move through the world with confidence and authority, she will feel it. Because status isn't just about wealth, it's about perceived power. The kind of power that comes from how you show up, how others respond to you, and the energy you radiate without saying a single word. And women are incredibly tuned into those signals, even if they'd never say it out loud. They notice your posture, your grooming, the way you walk into a room, the way you speak, calm, clear, deliberate. How other people react when you talk. Do they lean in? Do they listen? Do they follow your lead? All of that communicates status. It's not about showing off, it's about showing up with quiet confidence and presence. Because when a man exudes that kind of energy, when he's well-dressed, composed, respected by others, and clearly knows who he is, it triggers emotional attraction on a deep level. She may not consciously connect the dots, but her body, her instincts, her emotions, they're reacting to your status energy. And that reaction, that pull she feels toward you, that's not random. That's biology at work. So no, you don't need to be a millionaire to be attractive. But you do need to carry yourself like a man who already knows he's valuable. Because before you ever speak, your presence is already saying everything. Weakness number 5. She feels pulled by masculine polarity. Let's go deeper for a second. There's something primal happening in every male-female interaction, and most men completely overlook it. It's called polarity. Polarity is the invisible force that creates tension, chemistry, and raw attraction between masculine and feminine energy. And here's the truth. When you show up in strong, calm-rooted masculine energy, you naturally create a magnetic pull. It's not something you say. It's something she feels. You don't need to puff your chest out or act tough. You don't need to dominate or control. True masculine polarity is subtle, but powerful. It's in the way you hold your frame. The way you make decisions without hesitation. The way you protect your peace, your purpose, and your path, without bending for validation. And when that masculine energy meets her natural feminine softness, something clicks deep inside her. She starts leaning in. She softens around you. She starts craving your presence, not because of what you say, but because of how you make her feel in your energy. But here's where most men mess it up. They try too hard to be liked. They become passive, overly agreeable, or try to become what they think she wants. And in doing so, they collapse their masculine energy. They lose that polarity. And without polarity, the chemistry disappears. But when you stay firm in your frame, when you don't try to please, when you move with intention, when you lead with calm assertiveness, she feels it in her body. It's not something she's consciously analyzing, it's something instinctual. It triggers her feminine desire to be near a man who is anchored, centered, and unshaken by external chaos. So if you want to unlock a woman's deeper attraction, don't try to impress her. Just show up as a man deeply rooted in his masculine core. Because polarity is nature's way of creating fire, and when you get it right, you don't chase attraction. You become the spark. Weakness number 6. She's drawn to emotional leadership. Here's a next level insight that most men never even consider. Women don't want to think, they want to feel. That's not an insult. That's emotional truth. Most men try to lead through logic, facts, or planning every little detail. But what really draws a woman in, what touches her deeper instincts, is something called emotional leadership. And what does that mean? It means you have the ability to guide the emotional energy in a conversation, a room, or even in the relationship itself. You set the tone. You shift the mood, from stress to calm, from tension to playfulness, from awkwardness to connection. That's power. Real magnetic power. Think about it. When she's overwhelmed, you bring peace. When she's anxious, you bring grounding. When things feel heavy, you know how to inject a little lightness, humor, or play. That's not manipulation. That's emotional mastery. Most guys are reactive. They mirror her mood, they follow her emotional state, and they get pulled into chaos. But the most attractive men? They stay rooted. They lead emotionally. Through tone. Through presence. Through energy. It's in how you speak. Calm, low, and steady. It's in your body language. Relaxed, open, unshaken. It's in your ability to read her emotional cues. Not trying to fix everything, but just being there with calm presence. Because deep down, and she may not even say this out loud, most women don't want to lead emotionally. They want to surrender into your presence. To feel safe, to relax, to let their guard down, because they know you've got the emotional wheel. And that's what separates an average guy from a man who truly knows how to connect. When you lead emotionally, you don't just impress her. You affect her. You leave an imprint. Weakness number 7. She can't resist a man who has standards. Let's close this out with one of the most underrated, most misunderstood traits a man can have. Standards. One of the biggest hidden weaknesses women have, something they may never admit out loud, is their reaction to a man who doesn't bend, a man who stands firm in his boundaries. Not a jerk. Not aggressive. But a man who knows exactly what he will and won't tolerate, and doesn't apologize for it. That energy is rare. That energy is magnetic. You see, most men try to impress women by being overly agreeable. They say yes to everything. They tolerate disrespect. They stay in situations they know don't feel right, just to keep the peace or avoid conflict. But here's the truth. The moment you start tolerating less, you become more attractive. A high-value man doesn't need to raise his voice or prove a point. He simply lives by his values. And if something or someone doesn't align with those values, he walks away. Calmly. Decisively. Without drama. And that's when she starts to feel something deeper. Not just attraction, respect. Because let's be real, women don't fall in love with men they can control. They fall in love with men they can trust to lead themselves. When you have standards, you send a message without saying a word. I know my worth. I know what I allow into my world. And if you want to be part of it, it has to match that level. And that, right there, is what separates average men from magnetic men. So never be afraid to say no. To hold your line. To protect your energy. Because every time you do, you become the kind of man who commands not just attention, but admiration. So there you have it, 7 hidden weaknesses women have that most men completely overlook. But here's the key takeaway. It's not about manipulation. It's not about playing games. It's It's about understanding women on a deeper level, and showing up as the kind of man who naturally triggers respect, desire, and trust, without even trying too hard. Because when you master presence, certainty, emotional leadership, and boundaries, you don't chase attraction, you become the source of it. And most men will never reach that level, but if you're watching this, it means you're not most men. You're evolving. You're leveling up. You're becoming magnetic. If this video spoke to you, smash that like button, drop a comment below and tell me which one of these signs hit you the hardest. And don't forget to subscribe because we're just getting started, and I've got way more coming your way to help you unlock your full masculine power. Thanks for watching, stay sharp, stay grounded, and keep showing up like the high-value man you are.